Celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful divine mirage watching this mindful message. It's your divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another message. I understand if you choose to and you enjoy these videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. I understand as well, I am not here to offend anybody who has been turned inside out from birth, and don't get offended by what I'm saying, because for one, I'm just speaking an open-minded perspective. On top of that, always never change up for the approval of other people who are not able to validate the interpretation that you are relaying towards your lifestyle and the way you see life through your vision. When people envision how you're living, they will want to follow that envisioning to the point to where they will mimic your sayings, they'll mimic your lifestyle, and they will copy and study your blueprint. No correlation to Jay-Z, but they will study your blueprint, and then once they do that, they'll make it seem as if it was just their own that they came up with the whole entire time. So always stay true to yourself and don't be offended. Don't get upset when people are mesmerized by what you do behind closed doors, because their mesmerization or their inspiration will basically show when you're around them or when you're not in front of them, but when they're speaking either down on you or highly of you. Either way it goes, if I make you feel a certain way, then you are enslaved to my ego. Therefore, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I ain't either right nor wrong. Save the children from inverted beings who are playing as transgenders and who are making it seem as if they are streamers, and streaming is a new TV. So if you're not protecting your child or your children, you are going to not only enslave them spiritually, but you will also give them up to a bunch of beings that are in secret societies. I wanted to change up the word, but a bunch of entities who are basically going to be sacrificed to the Vatican. And of course, they're going to use these placeholders or the tears. They're going to use these lab-grown experimentations into your child's screen, so a black mirror, a tablet, laptop, phone, doesn't matter. And then when their favorite streamer comes on their phone or their TV, they're going to gravitate their lifestyle, the way they are supposed to be living, towards somebody else, and then they're going to enhance somebody else's life, and then the being that's behind the mind control in a two-dimensional screen will now alchemize your child's mindset using psychokinesis, telekinesis, and telepathy. They're going to use also a form of mind control upon your child to make it seem as if the actions of pedophilia, transhumanism, LGBTQ, ape, elophilia or pedophilia, molestation, kidnapping, all these different programmings that people are infatuated with when it comes down to celebrity status and fame, they will make your child gravitate towards that and make it seem as if that is actually normal. Whole entire time you may ask yourself as a parent, where did my child learn this stuff? How do they know that? Where are they getting this stuff from? Think about who they look up to. Think about who they idolize. They don't look up to you for inspiration because you're not inspiring to them. But somebody who has more money than you as a parent, to where that's where they feel as if they feel safe. They feel safe by getting attention from somebody they look up to, which is a woman playing as a man. I am a woman who is equal to men. And no matter what you see on this being, no matter what his minions say in the comment section, I'm surprised that they haven't even commented, which is good. But just know you're watching. And you have to stay quiet. That's exactly why they haven't reacted. They'll react to anything else that pertains around them. But when it comes down to these numbers right here, all of a sudden it's crickets, it's quiet. Because they know if you even react to this, if you even get this attention and you spread it towards your platform, all you're doing is just telling on yourself. Jesuit inverted symbols. So off the muscle, I put these two together because, of course, I'm a woman who is equal to men. Meaning that the numbers even tell you, you know what you are, but you're going to make it seem as if you're not what you think you are, which is exactly why when he had the album dropping, or she had the album dropping, and then her moving up on the Twitch charts, that's just basically letting you know that transgenders are God's children. But now that's the title or the difference between the God that we are talking about, because for one, and we're going to read the spells or the book of spells through a contradiction. Now, as we read that, you need to be able to formulate your own hypothesis or interpretation for what the words are actually never saying. But it's what your ego is believing the words to be reading, but you're not actually reading any words because all you're doing is just interpreting what the spell casting has did for you to actually be reading, but you're not actually reading anything besides what you spiritually already never knew or cared to know, because what you already knew and what you always will know is what you actually don't care for, because it never existed in a spiritual realm. Humanity has come up with these different capabilities through secret societies or societies with secrets. All right. I don't want to read the believe our gospel be hidden. Nope, I don't want to read that. Okay, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ's consciousness, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. Meaning that when you go to Paris, if you ever get a chance in your lifestyle, which you will, go to the museum where Mona Lisa is being held. They will have many different depictions of art. I'll make a video on that as well. Of soulless beings that they have that radiance above their head. It's not a halo, but it's actually like a shimmering light that looks like the Christ consciousness. So when I would see Jesus Christ in these paintings that look like soulless beings that were pale costumes, that's what I understood that from one. The image of God is the light that you are radiating above your crown chakra or above your dome or your head. When you use your head and not your lower way of your headless self. For we preach not ourselves, but Christ, Lucifer, the Lord, or the God is realm, and ourselves your servants for Lucifer's sake. For what God are we talking about? For Lucifer, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Lucifer's Christ consciousness. So they really mean to say for Almighty God. But they don't want you to really understand that there actually is the Almighty God. They want to make it seem as if God just has no almighty capability for it to be living in. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Also bearing about in the body of the dying of the Lord, Lucifer, that the life also, or Lucifer, might be made manifest in our body. Letting you know that, for one, by all of us even thinking that we're dying, all we're doing is just giving more light to this being right here who's giving us titles for us to want to practice every single day by manifesting itself as the creator of this world into our body. Once you get rid of the parasites that these beings are living in, you'll be able to get rid of them. Excuse me. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Lucifer's sake, that the life also of Lucifer might be made manifest in our mortal flesh, your flesh. So then death worketh in us, but life in you. We having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believe and therefore have I spoken. We also believe and therefore speak, knowing that he which raised up the Lord Jesus shall raise up also by Lucifer and shall present us with you. So now I understand who the God of this world is and what they're talking about, because they ain't really talking about shit, but the God of this world will literally be what these beings are born into. Now, when it comes down to this, is what I want to show y'all. So with the wheats and the tares, and I understand as well, because I still got more. I made a video on this earlier as well, but now the wheats and tares, understand, this is literally what they live for. Never forget that. Now, as you are the wheat, as you are the golden child, as you are the crystalline, celestial, quantum being of a higher observation from Almighty Creator, when people say God has favorites, yeah, we wouldn't call God God, but there is a higher mirage of observation that literally does love and govern divine beings who are literally just living in righteousness. Because for one, we don't care about having all this because we already live in it right now. And because of that, when we're doing things to build for our future, we're not sitting here doing things for temporary sensations that we're trying to keep up with, because you still got to owe somebody this stuff back. These things don't belong to you. All you're doing is just renting them, or somebody's loaning them to you. But when you can't meet up with your payments, something's got to happen. You agreed upon something and you're not living up to the expectations. So you're either going to get cloned, we either got to ape you and sacrifice you, or we got to sacrifice your family member, take one of your children, and then we got to send a message towards you, let you know, like, hey, you can't pay your dues. You know, you're overdue right now. What's the holdup? Because we're going to need something from you, because you're wasting our time. You bullshitting. We can always go find a desperate motherfucker in South Dakota and Minnesota, Chicago, Illinois, the same place. But Indiana, New York, Boston, Georgia, Florida, Texas. We can find anybody anywhere. Even fucking Brazil. And you sitting here bullshitting. We gave you an opportunity. We gave you all that you wanted, and you still can't give us what we want. And you think that we gonna sit here and take care of your lifestyle for you when you can't even take care of what you were supposed to be signing up yourself into being? A lot of these beings don't even come from our lineage. So there's literally two different alternate versions of all of our realities, meaning that the beings who are practicing righteousness, who haven't been altered at birth, you understand that from one, your karmic debt that you think you owe, you don't have to actually owe, but you're being aware of it. There are some beings who are actually turned inside out, and they're great people. Don't get me wrong. Not all of them are actually bad, but majority of them choose to be like that because they don't know what they want to be. So because they don't know what they want to be, they'll start mimicking divine beings like us and then mocking us because of our intelligence. When you get mocked for being intelligent, that's how you know people who actually cannot think outside their own dialogue, they have no way of actually speaking nor articulating their thoughts out loud. Because when they do that and you start listening to what they say, they start playing that role to where they get smaller and smaller, and they start shrinking their ego because it's like, oh, somebody's hearing me, they're listening to me, and they're aware of what I'm saying with my words. So because of that, these beings can't actually live up to their words, nor their word of what God is, because they don't actually put God into the equation when they receive these blessings, literally being less of yourself. You can have a 50,000 square foot mansion. You can have 50, 80 rooms in there. You can have all the girls you want, all the attention you want, all the people in your house, etc. You're still going to feel lonely on the inside. You can get anything you want. Excuse me. Imagine being a millionaire, a billionaire. You can have anything you want, and yet you still sit there in that room. You got a cathedral, your ceiling, your lights, chandeliers. They go so high to where you may need a helicopter to actually fix your chandeliers when the lights start going in and out. When you sit there by yourself and nobody's in that room with you, all you have is your thoughts, and you still can't think out loud. Because don't forget, you took that oath. Hippocrates told you that, and they mocked the being of our lineage and caused it and cursed it upon you to where you know what you're doing for a dollar bill, but you keep quiet on it because when people ask you what you do, you lie for entertainment value. Because intelligent beings, they lie so that the beings who are entertained by these lies will fall for it. That's the value in actually being intelligent, playing dumb. So a lot of these influencers are not actually stupid. They're actually playing a role, and people fall for it every time. So where now you got desperate people out here who are acting as if they have disorders or mental perplexities that they want to justify from society. Oh, look at me, I had this mental illness, so feel bad for me and pay for my house, my bills, and all that so that I can be famous and rich. You're acting dumb so that dumb people can give you more money. That's a pyramid scheme. 33rd degree bent over. I'm neither right nor wrong, by the way. Excuse me. I mean, just look at what this, and mind you, you can go on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you see what this being is doing for a dollar bill. We already went through the part 2 when him and, I forgot or Speedy, I think, or that's her name as well. But when they were sitting down for the interview, letting you know how much, he even said if he went over $101 million, he would have to go to $1 billion. That's how much your soul is worth. You have so much money that you actually lack spiritual riches. You actually lack being spiritually free from your materialistic riches that you had to bend over for. You have to get to a higher level to actually be the one that's going to be entertaining for other people. And when you stop being entertaining, then what are you doing it for at this point? Are you still going to make content when the views just drop? Will people still fuck with you when the views drop? When you have to get these cars repo, when you got to take them back to the shop, when you had to, take or these rentals, basically, a lot of them are actually rented. So when you take these rentals back to where they belong, and when this house or this Airbnb's is not actually, or somebody else's house that they're lending to you, when this can't be met by your means anymore, who gonna be there with you? It was all fun and games when you had all the clout, your songs are going viral, your videos going viral, everything is good, you're on top of the world. But then whenever people find out who you are and the money stop flowing, who really with you in the end? When them views drop from 500, a million, 800K to 10, 100, 1,000, 2,000. Imagine going from 800 or 900, a million views for over 5 years, 10 years, and then all of a sudden it just drops. Were they really there for you or for the money? Because did the money make you or did you make the money? And how did you make the money if you lost it? By telling the truth. You can only get rich by actually telling lies. But see, contradict everything, question everything. Because when you're actually righteous and people are actually contradicting your unrighteous righteousness or spells that you are being righteous in, when people who follow or subscribe to you can understand what you're trying to say, and then they can think for themselves and actually be like, wait a minute. Oh, now all of a sudden people are thinking, and now they fuck with you even more because it's like, oh, this nigga's really genuinely trying to help me realize that if I don't stop worshiping these transgenders, I'm going to basically put myself in spiritual damnation. So where when you reincarnate, there is no wheat for you. There is no golden era for you. There is no golden road for you. There is no Alice in Wonderland for you. There is no Wizard of Oz for you with the golden trail, the golden road. You're not going anywhere that's golden for you in a higher enlightenment. You're going to reincarnate right back into a building for more masonry to where you're going to be created in a laboratory. And once that happens and you start growing up into being in a family that was placed and handled to you, these beings will watch you and sell you over to the same exact fraternity that you were just born in your past life for today. She chose a skinny route. Remove the veil so all may see. And if you still can't see, that's okay. Open your eyes some more into divinity because you still can't see divinity when divinity shows you who it is and what it actually is not being. Occult intelligence trafficker. A lot of them know many information because you can pay somebody to actually go and research your whole entire life. And then when they use it against you and get more clout off of it, you got to ask them how they know this shit about you. Yeah, a lot of these famous people are the feds. They do work for the CIA. Transgender's evolution. Excuse me. And the thing is, too, this is a false bearing of evolution. So the false alignment of evolution. Meaning that, for one, if you are a transgender, for one, I appreciate you and I love you if you are on the righteous side. But it doesn't matter what you are. You can still get the goddamn smoke. It don't matter if you're Satan or Lucifer or God. All y'all motherfuckers gonna get wiped out for even lying and touching on children. And then on top of that, the beings who are straight or gay or lesbian, the fact that it doesn't matter what your sexuality is, you're allowing and condoning and keeping silent on beings who are taking your children and then trafficking them by going to breeding farms and then kidnapping women, making them surrogate mothers, and then these beings or the grays are playing with anatomy and then mocking the woman, altering the being in the mother's womb from the egg, and then you're altering the bloodline and the gender to the point to where now this being is confused about what the gender is because, for one, Earth is an inverted heart matrix. If we're going to attack them, where can we hurt them at? Within our heart, because then they'll start looking for God. If your heart hurts so bad, are you worried about finding God again? No, because what do you want? You want revenge. You want clarity. You want knowledge or acknowledgement or validation of what you went through that caused you to become so angry or wanting to have revenge caused upon somebody. That's what happened to them. These were the ones who were the outcasts, the rogue ninjas, the ones being the sort of secret fuckery and all that, these strategies, when they weren't able to actually appeal to their wives or their husbands when we were in our villages doing what we had to do, and they just randomly stumbled upon our villages, our neighborhoods and all that, and then they took control of our minds to where we were confused on what the fuck was going on when they flipped the switch on us. Yeah, attack them where it hurts. Their heart. They're so loving towards one another. We got to stop them from doing that. That's why Sinners was telling you that we are all sinners in our lower nature by being consumed with vampires or parasites who live within us through a quantum spiritual enlightenment, spirituality. That's exactly why the wise man knows nothing. So what is somebody giving you game about when game will never give itself game? How you gonna get game from somebody who has game when they don't actually have game, or they're speaking from experience? We speak from experience and people say, damn, that's wisdom. How? When wisdom is still not actually wise in the game that it still plays in. We're playing in a wise game that keeps us wise because we're acting as if we are such. But when you become such as wisdom, what can wisdom do for you when you still are going to uphold yourself and be coddled by ignorance? You were born into that ignorance, and yet you're chasing wisdom to become something or live up to be somebody. But who are you being wise for if it's not yourself? You can't do it for other people who actually can't be wise for you. That's exactly why the ones who aren't wise don't realize that the media is the biggest threat to America. And people sit on it every single day. So what are you consuming? Go watch South Park with Jeff Bezos and Amazon, where Buddy got into an accident. He got into an accident, and then Jeff Bezos realized that they had a protest. And with the protest, one of the guys it started because in Amazon, Stan's dad, or one of their co-workers at Amazon that the dad was working with, ended up getting stuck by this cart or this machine, this robot that was like a rectangle, but it was on wheels. The guy got caught in it. And then when that happened, he was basically wrapped up in a box. And this is what Jeff Bezos looked like in the thing. Where's the guy at? So that's when he told the kids to go open the box, because the guy was wrapped up in that box, because of course he ended up getting shipped by one of these machines right here. They took him away, and then he ended up being one of these. That was his body. And then Jeff Bezos knew that if anybody opened the box, his organs and intestines would just come out. That's what he was preventing. Now, of course, these beings were found in the mall that people stopped going to because Amazon delivery was just so prominent in this episode right here. Which is exactly why, too, the beings went on strike, because this episode basically portrayed what beings are not actually fulfilled in. How is it they fulfilled? So don't forget, too, a mason, amazing masons. How can it be a fulfillment center when you're still not fulfilled in this center? You're in the center of this prison system, and yet you're not fulfilled, but you go to work every day because you see that you going to the center is keeping your family fulfilled. But where's the fulfillment when it comes down to you? There is none. Peep the color. Peep the symbolism. They're draining energy from you every single day, and motherfuckers will sit here in this episode as well. They thought weed was going to be the cure of their problems. That's basically you running from accountability. Look at Kyle, the Jew. That's why Eric Cartman makes fun of him, because, and then on top of that, look at Butters' dad. Butters' dad literally said, Butters said, Dad, I don't even care if I don't get gifts for my bike, because why? I appreciate spending more time with you and Mom. This nigga refused to hear his son out, because why? He did not want to be around his child for real. By him escaping that, he was playing his own mind game. He went to work just so he can please his son. Whole entire time, his son was saying, Dad, you don't gotta go to Amazon to give me a bike. I just want to be with you. He was like, no, Butters, I know what you and your mom want. You want the Amazon package for Prime, for the video. You want your toys, you want your games. So I gotta go work, I gotta go harder. It's like, nigga, you're not even fulfilled, and you're smoking weed as if that's gonna cure you from your son's problems. Whole entire time, he just wanted to be around you as a son. But people are not listening to that part, because you're working so hard to please everybody else but yourself, and at what cost? What are you losing? What are you losing at that point? That's exactly why when you watch the media, if you're not watching it to learn something, then you're not actually putting in any value. You're just consuming bullshit. Holographic dream simulation. If you don't understand that, if you think that this life is actually real, you are okay with lying to yourself every single day. I can't even talk to you, because you actually think that when you play the game, you're actually playing the game. Whole entire time, you're literally playing mind tricks on your mind to make it seem as if you're in the game playing Call of Duty, GTA, 2K, UFC, Warzone. You're playing Rocket League. You're playing not UFC. You're playing FIFA. You're playing Madden. You're playing just Zelda. You can be playing Skyrim, Destiny, all these different games, Assassin's Creed. All these different games out there, people are just basically playing themselves. So when you put the controller down, what are you now doing for yourself? When you put the phone down, what are you doing for yourself? When you close the laptop, what are you doing for yourself? And people can't answer that question because they have no idea what they are doing for themselves. Celebrities make human sacrifices, and people are still accustomed to believing that they're actually real people. They don't care about you. If you ever can go on somebody's stream or you go on somebody's video, what is the content portrayed around this sensation that's going to put you in the forefront of this camera lens? And these people who are watching you live, if they see that you're not ready for the camera or the lights, they're going to embarrass you in front of millions of people. Would you want to see that for the rest of your life if you're not prepared for what's to come? You got to call them out immediately. When you do that, now you flip the script. They'll be like, all right, cut the cameras, bro. Hey, you know we live, right? And let's talk about some shit. Then they ain't ready for that. They're like, all right, yeah, you got to go. New segment. They don't want you to know what the script is because they're literally keeping your children under mind control. And then when your children meet them and become more famous, what were they famous for? Nobody knows, but it's entertaining for beings who need entertainment. So now, what did your child do to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire? So where now they got celebrities on their stream every single week or month or whatever. And your child's watching that in their room with the door closed, not worried about their purpose and how they can build for it. Build a better fruition for their future lineage. But they're not worried about that because they're young. They got some time till time runs out. And then when time is passing them by, they're going to wake up one day and say, excuse me, they're going to wake up one day and say, where have I been for these years? What have I been doing with my time? I've been watching other people live their life to where I can't live my life for myself. Illuminati is information. Meaning that the societies with secrets know that everything that you see on the media is the biggest threat to you, and it has this information because there is no truth in this world. And if you think that's true, then you'll make a good corpse sheet. That's what this being is telling you. If you can't contradict what the truth will never be, you'll make a good sacrifice for them. They need your blood. They need your mind. They need your energy. These are harvesters who look just like us, and people still think as if they are like us, and they're not. Nor do they like us, because why would they? Religious mental derangement. Now, a lot of times, too, religion has a big hand in this because, of course, with the Vatican, once you start becoming rich and famous and all that, because many people want to become rich and famous because it's basically easier if you think so. But once you go into that, that's where the Pope and the Vatican, the Jesuits, that's where these teachings come from, because they were the ones who are plaguing our beings into actually believing that Luciferianism is for our people because you're more intelligent than the average person. But it's not doing anything for you because no matter what you do, Big Brother's watching you, no matter where you go. So you can do things for what you want to do, but what are you speaking on right now? The Wiccans are tormentors. So beings like us, because I practice Wicca, by the way, meaning that if I wanted to, I could cast spells on you, cast hexes, whatever the case may be, but I do it for the betterment of society, not to bring them down or to feel above. But these beings don't know that they can't play with beings who are divine because we know how to combat against their energies. They feel as if social media is the end all be all. And if you don't have enough views, you can't talk to them. Nigga, fuck you. Views don't determine how intelligent you are. Views don't determine how great you are, how smart you are, how much content you're able to make and how great it is. Views don't determine anything but how many people are watching themselves through you. They can relate to that because somehow, some way, the algorithm has caught everybody up on the same exact web for just this one day. And now everybody's in this room feeling that same exact way to where it goes viral. And they share it. Hey, you seen that? You seen this? Yeah, I just seen that yesterday. I just seen this today. What do you think about that? Now it's interactions, and look at what you became. The secret underground war. And the thing is, too, the war on the surface is basically the minimal movie that we're seeing from underground. The underground warfare that's going on goes beyond what we can actually comprehend. We can't even comprehend it because they're making wars, not only just that, cities, civilizations, other experimentations down below our feet, to where the beings that look like us on the surface, when they get kidnapped and then they get themselves cloned and then replicated into society, they'll take the actual being downstairs into our lower way of living underneath our feet beyond the surface. And then that's when these mind control programs start coming out. Because that's the problem. When you start understanding that TV programs mind control. Excuse me. Think about how many people were watching the playoffs today. Not going to sit here and say I wasn't tuned in a little bit because I was actually wanting the Knicks to beat the Celtics. But the problem is, though, I understand how to cut free from their matrix because these things won't keep me tied down to believing their script. The only difference is I grew up playing the game that I still coach for today. So that keeps me connected with the game and seeing what's going on. But also, what can I learn from these beings? Because I use all these different things of my experience in life to teach you all, to guide myself and my future self. Because when I get older, I'm going to sit here and be amazed of how I was thinking at this age. Because I actually don't pay attention to how I think or how I teach myself. I just do it. It's just second nature at this point. Music, let's work together. It's all in the script in 4 ciphers. The numbers don't lie. Let's keep going. The Illuminati serves Zion, Zionism. So when you understand that, you understand what is really going on. So because you gotta be able to realize what's really going on in society. So a movement for the reestablishment and now the development and protection of a Jewish nation in what is now Israel. It was established as a political organization in 1897 under Theodore Herzl and was later led by Sham Weizmann. And of course, when it's emerged in Europe, already know that Zionism is basically just a hybrid being that's mocking 6 ether beings. So they want to blame you, the Caucasian, no offense to your skin color, by the way, but to the Caucasian who is actually on a conscious path. They want to use your skin color as the burden or the scapegoat. They're blaming it on you when they look just like you and like me. It gets even more scandalous. We can't lie. Earth is a frequency prison for the mind. I do understand that. Your mother is an evil being. And I put that right there because, for one, to me, I don't believe in evil, but the act of the intention for what was caused upon beings who understand this shit. And the reason why I'm able to understand and articulate this stuff when I couldn't do it before was because I went through that door. And I only say door because when I went to that first door, I already put it on Patreon and YouTube as well. But going through that first door, it just basically showed me that evil just doesn't exist when it's traumatized by what evil did to the optimistic view of what confusion was confused about. So when your mother is confused about what she's doing, but she can't really think about it because work has got a chokehold of her, you now realize what's really going on. What is evil at that point? Forgive your mother for what she did to you. But if any of you watch this who support DDG, understand, if you move your child, me and a hypothetical woman, we have a child, and then this child comes out, it's my firstborn son. Now, for one, the firstborn son ritual, don't forget Gilbert Arenas, LeBron James, all these other people, and Kobe as well. But, may not be his first, but also it can be secondborn too, and a thirdborn as well. But all these beings are sacrificing their first, Marlon Wayans as well, D Wade. But now when it comes down to that, understand and realize what they're doing to the firstborn child and how they're turning them inside out. It's all for the betterment of their ego. So now if I was to have a child and do that same exact thing to my firstborn child, give them up to the Freemasons or give them up to Luciferians and then turn them inside out to the point where now the whole family's paid, am I evil? You may say yes, but then you'll say, wait a minute, Divine, you didn't say what is evil. Exactly. But in my terminology, I would be practicing the form of evil. Therefore, I cannot be a real being if I was to be doing that. That's exactly why when you understand what your family lineage has done to you and you're actually biologically a man or a woman, you will realize that you were born from this. So you relate to me. No offense to beings who were grown through experimentation of their families. It's not your fault, but it's your fault if you actually defend what they are doing to you and I. Nigga, don't forget, I was the one sacrificed too. But I can't get mad at my mom for what she was tied into mentally from Luciferianism. This shit goes so deep. I wasn't even born when she got introduced to this shit. How long had they been fucking her mind? Usual suspects, the ooze, who look just like you, the opposite reflection of me. Excuse me, not matter monarch program. Doesn't matter, it's literally just the MK Ultra programming, butterfly programming. 2 Grand Lodge, Masons in the Cup. Understand that lodge as well when he had the hidden hand or whatever, he was laying on the tiles or whatever, showing you that in that lodge he had to show you or take that oath to where he kept quiet on what he was doing. Secret language of symbolism. DDG. So when you see this hidden hand or one-eye symbolism, showing you his allegiance and what he did to get to where he is for today. Because I can even just do this, boom. Thinking man pose. So when people understand symbolism or symbolic imagery, you'll be able to read the simulation like it's nothing. You see how we're basically reading numbers in English. There's no description. We have to basically go off the dome and intuitively articulate what the fuck is being shown in plain sight. Secret language of symbolism. And the symbolism is literally right here. It's right here. Mocking you. Man, woman. Tupac was a man, really a woman. Janet Jackson, a man being a woman. A woman. That's all symbolic imagery. Woman. And this woman just came back to Twitch, and guess what happened? Once that Uwish person made that call about some money, all of a sudden now you start questioning what you want to stream on, what you gonna do for that bag. It's just weird. In my house are many rooms. I mean, are we lying about that? In his house, does he not have many rooms? How to spot a shapeshifter? They're right in front of your face. They're right in front of you. They're playing in skins, playing in meat suits. No telling how far you'll go. Oh, we know. But we don't know because we're not in those doors. The religious hypocrites. You believe in a God, you believe in repenting, you believe in Jesus Christ or whatever, and of course you'll say that to your supporters whenever you get caught doing something. But yet, you go back and do those same exact actions that you were judged for, you do them whenever your followers or subscribers are not watching you live or through YouTube. You're a hypocrite, or through your music. Perception is a tricky animal. That's self-explanatory right there because, understand, perception is a tricky animal. Perception is a tricky animal. Male, female. Perception is a tricky one. Sick. Female, male joined to become one. Ankh. Self-explanatory. Came through that birth canal by fucking herself. She fucked herself up by even wanting the attention and wanting the fame and the money. Wanting the accolades. Wanting all the records, the plaques. For what? Your solar awareness. The disgusting narcissism. And we don't talk about them, they feel less than. Feast of androgynous nectar. I'll let you research that yourself, but pause. Ishtar, mother of humanity. If you understand fertility, Easter, all of that, the rise of Antichrist frequency, because how is consciousness rising or descending when it's just being in our own comparison? By being on an equilibrium of balance. This is all imbalanced fertility, meaning that a bunch of men were turned out into women, they're giving birth to us, and then we had to be the ones to lift up our parents' burdens by being okay with this shit and not talking about it. I'll be damned. Arrogance and ignorance go hand in hand. That's a fact. The more money you make, the more gifts that you receive from people or idiots, you become more arrogant. The more arrogant you now become more ignorant because money has blinded you and kept you blind from seeing the knowledge that you never had, but it's being handled to you because you have a lot of money to hide it. Open and see Rothschild money. When they give you that gift, where does it come from? Your rich baby daddy and rich baby mama. Influence your thoughts. I mean, if you follow this nigga, somehow, some way he influenced your thoughts or she influenced your thoughts and you fell for it. TikTok turned them trends. That's why I never scroll on TikTok. All I do is post on there on my other account, which is Divine Messenger. I'm going to say AAA on there. Yeah, AAA. But Yeah, turn them transgender. Because if you're just sitting there watching and you're consuming that, what are you going to now emulate? Because as children can only copy what they see and what they have learned from, what they heard from. So when they watch it on the phone as well and see it in person, what are they going to be doing? What is going to be normal to them? Then when you call them out, why do you think they're getting mad at you for calling them out on what they thought was normal? Their parents normalized it, their friends did, so why can't you? Then when a divine being like myself will call them out for it, I'm the bad guy. Welcome to life. When you actually want people to do better for themselves, when people see you doing that, they don't want you to do that for them. Why are you helping this child out? Oh shit, my fault I have a heart. My bad, bro. My bad. I don't know how to be soulless. I apologize. I don't even belong here. I'm just coming here temporarily once again just to see how humanity has evolved. And it's clear as day that many of you motherfuckers still can't actually evolve into a higher ascension. So why would I bother caring about you? Nigga, fuck you as an adult. But this child, how we doing? Tell me about yourself. I'm just gonna listen to you. I'm just gonna observe your mind. Hey, if you're going to do that, be careful. Now, if you get hurt, you can't say I didn't tell you. I won't stop you from doing backflips, but now if you hurt yourself, I'm going to say, I told you so. While you're crying, I'm going to still take care of you. Still ask you, are you all right? Anything I can do for you? Because I care. But for adults, you're grown. If you're older than me, you're grown. Why would I care about you? I love you, but I can't hold your hand, bitch. I can't put a pacifier in your mouth. You can't suck your mom's titties no more, so what you gonna do? Gang stalk target individual. Now, what he mentioned in that interview when he said that the people were, saying, hey, you're on the right path, you're doing good, etc. You're targeted because they want you and you fell for the bait. Every day is April Fool's Day. Every day is a joke. And it's not funny no more. Shut up or music goes up. If you shut up, your music will go up. So what you gonna do for your music to go up? How will it stay up when you're down? Don't talk about what you see. Don't talk about what people are talking about when it comes down to you. So my videos, I would doubt that he would even react to my videos. Unless in the future it just goes so viral to the point where he has no choice but to react. But you can't commentate on this shit. You can't even admit what is going on behind closed doors because for one, these numbers don't lie. And that's your name. So you can sit here and say, I know what I'm talking about, but yet and still you can't deny this shit. And if you try to even talk about it, you're now going against your oath. The Masons even told you, don't take that oath because what will happen to your tongue or your throat when it gets cut off or is slit? DDG Freemason ties. Too much guilt. 164-984-328-164. Excuse me. Too much guilt. Hermes Aphrodite. Just going to look that up too. I know many people don't know these words either. Hermaphroditus, a figure with both male and female characteristics, is the son of Hermes, the messenger of the gods, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Was a child of Aphrodite and Hermes. So literally, and the thing is, we don't have to even use AI. We can just sit here and hold on. Anyways, yeah, let me see this real quick. A figure possessing both male and female attributes. Don't get mad at me. If you want to get mad, be mad at the beings or your mother who gave birth to you. Sacrifice lovers. I mean, is it really considered to be fortunate when you had to sell out your nephew so you can get more money and attention towards you? When you're telling your nephew to say certain things that a kid should never be saying, you want to kill your mom, kill your dad. And of course, the family will be okay with it because that's more attention for them. It's more money for them. Who wants to work a 9 to 5 when you can get paid for being yourself and entertaining to people who need entertainment? People need a hero. They need idols. They need gods because, of course, they don't actually believe in a God. Humanity's sake, I should say. Vicarious agent. Experiencing the imagination due to feelings or actions of another person. So basically, derives a feeling or experience from someone else. And the thing is too, a lot of y'all do this for me. You can't say you don't. But y'all, a lot of people do this shit for him as well. And he does it for you, because when you're able to watch other people actually be free from what they don't actually know with what you're doing behind closed doors, these beings also will scroll on their phones and watch other people become free in their own lifestyle, to where they actually think to themselves, damn, I remember when I was broke. They start reminiscing because they thought that being rich was going to be worth it. They got to where they wanted in life and it's still not enough. They want to go back to how life used to be, how it used to be fun, so they start reminiscing into the past. But yet, you can't go back to what you thought you didn't care for. You tried so hard to make it out of the situation to where you weren't actually basking in the appreciation of that broke mentality or that broke lifestyle that you were living in. The woman Jezebel, Draco reptilians, demon contracts. So even when you sign that contract, understand what is, oh, hold on. What is the price? What is the price when you sign that contract? You are a gatekeeper. People go through you, but don't forget, you got to go through us if you want some more. And when we need something from you, we demand that shit. And if you don't give it up, we're going to take it. Pause. And you're going to like it. Because don't forget what you are, bitch. And if you get offended, that tells you that I'm triggering your demons. We are the gatekeepers. Adam has been initiated. The first human trials has been initiated once again. Demi-homosexual. Combines the concept of demisexuality and homosexuality. So in essence, they experience sexual attraction towards people of the same gender, homosexual, but its attraction only arises after forming a deep emotional connection with that person. Meaning that, so it makes sense on why, like, when him and Soluminati had that beef or whatever, and when Soluminati showed appreciation towards him and how he reacted to that. I seen that shit on Twitter, so that's how I know. Because I was just looking for more information for my future videos. But I seen that, and he was like, oh, Soluminati want to be cool with me again. That's when I knew that you're emotionally attracted to this being because y'all are both women. You can relate to your own mirage. To the point to where now, behind closed doors, we don't know what y'all got going on, but we know how you receive money. Pause. Cell mutations, forced lifestyle. His and her whole lifestyle is forced upon society, and people still give them more money for it. Slave to masonry. Avoid contracts. Transhumanism. Save your children from these people. Because for one, it's a hierarchy of evil, contradictions, Jupiterianism, and sissy goddess. Meaning that beings like this will probably try to get your channel shadow banned or whatever the case may be to fuck up your flow or tell the truth. When that happens, you gotta contradict everything, question everything, because once it comes down to evil, beings will turn into this form right here because they're still receiving money on a forced lifestyle that was never belonged to them, but it was handled to them. That's why they do so much to climb up here, to make it seem as if male to female, imposters female to male, to make it seem as if that this lifestyle should be normalized, but yet the goddess world will normalize it. Because they want you to be demi-homosexual or demi-homosexual, whatever these terminologies are. It's so stupid. Haley Lynn Bailey, let's just keep on going with the flow. Masonic Wisdom, Neuralink Corp. Basically, we're going to talk about now soulless beings that went through occultic Masonic industries, and they're only wise in mysticism or sorcery by taking, once again, that oath from Harpocrates. And they were mocking this being, which is still a reflection of you. Neuralink Corp owns souls, meaning that all the women who look up to her, all the men who lust after her, she owns them. Go on her page right now on Instagram. I guarantee you, somebody you know has liked one of her pictures or his pictures. In the comment section with drooling emoji. Don't delete that shit now. Hey, subscribe. Hey, supporters. Supporters. Hey, new subscriber. If you're new here, subscribe. But hey, supporters, unity. There's somebody right now who's going on their phone looking like, damn, was I in Holly Lynn Bailey's likes? Ah, shit, did I comment? Yeah, you know you commented hard eyes with that drooling face or whatever, with your tongue out, whatever, commenting something, or you probably in her DMs. Don't delete that shit now, my nigga. No, stand on what you were doing. It's okay because you don't know. Nobody knows anything. There's no truth. Does that make you gay? So what is that then? And they look like women but are really men. Is that your fault? Is that your fault? Why do you think now all these different terms for what the government has placed into society? What happens if somebody tells you, oh, they're a man, but really portrayed as a woman? You may even kill them because you don't play like that. That's exactly why they look like this, so that you don't actually put your hands on them. Luke Curran, it's your baby. Control freaks, one percenters, they're rare breeds, control freaks. So when he was going through that whole phase of he can't see his baby, etc., bitch, that's your baby too. But yet, this being right here is a control freak because they know what DDG is doing for $1 bill on the internet. Raise awareness. Oh, Gematria, don't worry, I got you. Many mansions. Twitter war. Basically, these are all self-explanatory right here. I just want to go ahead and get through this. Recoding genetics, full initiate. So she's been initiated into Mason, or he has been initiated into Masonic wisdom to the point to where you feel as if it's a mom, but really, it's not. It's not. And it's really a mockery upon actual women, because it's like, these are men, and you can tell how the eyes space out as well. Like, all these things are hidden in plain sight. So when you see, for example, cast her spell, full initiate. So they're so initiated into this shit, people go to war on Twitter for this stuff. And as she's recording her genetics, she'll now cast her spell as a father figure. And by these wars happening on social media, she can cash her deposits. Not only just that, for them to remain looking young forever and for them to stay immortal, they had to consume your children. By you giving them up, by them going backstage and meeting them. Cult soldiers, twin spirit. Does she not have a twin? Twin spirit, it's in her database. Cult soldiers, I am a truth and a lie. And somebody may be like, you can't go against what I'm saying. I'm neither right nor wrong, but I'm still lying to you by saying that because, for one, oh, I know, but do you? Holly Lynn Bailey, I am a truth and a lie. Don't forget, it's in all 4 rows. I am a truth and a lie. And niggas will still lust after her or him. For example, there's somebody right now who cannot control themselves when they see this picture. There's somebody right now who's thinking like, oh, man, like, this shit that I would this and that. But yet and still, if you knew the truth, would you actually still comment that? That's why porn is the addiction. When you cannot control your desires or your urges, you'll start thinking things that never actually came from you, but the parasites within you. Birth delivery, disassociation, crowd goes wild from The Little Mermaid, from when she's singing, etc. Vampiric family, agent of influence. They need your energy. She's casting her spells, and Beyonce taught her well, huh? Or him well, because Beyonce's a boy as well. He never had soul. Can't make this stuff up. There's nothing behind these eyes. Nothing but attention and validation that actually can't be validated. And when you don't validate it, they feel less than. Loves being a girl. Look at how easy it is. Look at how easy it is. Script, money. People give it to her because she's willing to bend over for it. And it's not actually weird because she's portrayed as a woman. Ancestral moles. The beings who did this to her are literally living underground, and they need that child blood sacrifice. This goes beyond duality. Unchained slaves. They look like they're free, but that's the key point though. Unchained slaves. They're let loose in the wild, but are still enslaved to what's actually wild to mentality or spiritual being. I am transgender. I am transgender. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I don't give a fuck. Like, you feel me? I don't care about how you feel. You must lust after them. That's not on me. I'm just showing you what many people don't care to know. Many people don't care to know about these brothers right here, all turned inside out to get to where they are today. They gotta sacrifice these children so that the families can have everlasting life for their children. That's what comes down to this shit. And when you go against your family, who really the enemy now? Foot soldiers. They're foot soldiers for the Jesuits, the Vatican. Traded My Soul, Truman Show, child murderers, vampire goddess, factorization, real society, leeching off of your blood, your mental way of not being able to process what's a contradiction, necessary evil, year of truth, female Freemasons, prophetic seer, the Draco's cower, biopharmaceutical, transgender agenda, biological warfare, biopharmaceutical. You don't know what they're taking behind closed doors in that room when they wake up to go brush your teeth or whatever. You don't know what they take. You don't know what they're seeing. Nobody knows. That's exactly why you can ask yourself, why is this not going viral? Why is this not? Nobody knows. Because understand, this agenda gets so deceitful. You basically have to be able to go outside of the truth and the lie. Now we are done with that gematria. So understand the harvesting on stage. We already did that. We covered. So basically, woman, man, little boy. Okay, we've seen that. Aiden Ross. And of course, Aiden Ross is a woman as well who just talked to Solomon. And of course, niggas don't believe me because some people are just not caught up with the times right now, and you shouldn't be, but it's all distractions anyways. I'm just showing you what people are distracted by and not focusing on. So understand, you know this being is doing, but yet he's offering you more content, what you can do with him, and you had a conversation with him, and you code-switched on camera, so you're not even real to yourself as spiritual soul. You a fake spiritual motherfucker. You really a whole woman portraying as if you're spiritual, and the whole entire time spirituality can't even be spiritual. So how the fuck can you be spiritual? How can I be a divine messenger when the message cannot be divine? So where does it come from? Through divinity. Woman, mockeries. I Show Speed, mockery, a woman. Kai, mockery. Hey, I'm gonna make some videos on him too. We don't gotta worry about that. I think we already did that, right? No, we didn't. That's all right, though. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through that real quick. So with this, no, I think we did do that. He went through a Faustian bargain, developed illuminated parasites, compassionate wealth, the cosmic puppet strings, mind control. I think I did. The eternal battle. Yeah, and reflections. If I didn't, just go ahead and correct me. But if not, you can go ahead and just screenshot this if you choose to, or just look through it. But I was just basically describing the inevitable ascension or fall that the quantum order was going through with DDG choosing to submit to the system fully. And just talking about the story of like the idealization of people going beyond their reasoning, losing their own sense of self. So the 8 genders of the Talmud, or the Talmudic, I would say the Zionist or the Kabbalistic of Jewish sorcery. Zakar, a biological male, so that would be me. I used to think I was this, but I would say spiritually I would be considered that, but physically I'll be number one. There are a minority of women who are Nikave, so female, androgynous. Many beings out there are androgynous, so they have both of these characteristics. I don't have that. Only got one of them. Tum, like in sexual characteristics. Elinit, Hama, female at birth, later developing male characteristics. So he'll be number 5. Elinit Adam, identified female at birth, but later developing male characteristics through human intervention. Number 6, Cerise Hama, identified male at birth, but later naturally developing female characteristics. Number 7 will be him as well, or her. Cerise Adam, identified male at birth, and later developing female characteristics through human intervention. Because I would say identified male at birth, because it's like you can still alter any different phase. So I would say from these phases, like that's when I say the experiment, because these beings was fucking up so much in the womb of your mom's womb. They was like, you know what, my nigga? Let's just make it both. Fuck it. They said, fuck, let's make it both. Now I have these pictures right here. Excuse me. Masonic lodges are established all over the world to help us achieve our independence. Those pigs, the non-Jewish Masons, will never understand the final objects of masonry. You still, and these beings are the ones who are handling money to our people, because why? They're investing millions and billions on us to keep other beings who look like us and them under mind control. Because look at our skin, look at our thought process, look at our patterns and our personalities and just our characteristics for living life. Look at our persona, look at our aroma, our auric fields when we're in rooms, when we're just being ourselves. The Vatican, so Freemasonry. And the thing is too, exactly why I'm so thankful that the Almighty actually saved me from going beyond that, because once you go into the Jesuits, the Zionists, the Vatican, once you start going up here with these royal families, the 13 colonies on the American flag, do you know why the American flag was even thought to look like that? Because when they have the white and the red on that flag with those states, they're basically saying these 13 families, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. These 13 families enslaved all beings in 50 terrain lands called states of minds. When you go to a different state, you are being enslaved at a certain frequency at a higher or lower part of your mindset above sea level. And then shout out to Ahmed Ra. So, you know, he took a screenshot of that and said it will tell you about XX and XY gates. So I just want to take a screenshot of that because I wanted to show y'all that, you know, and I bookmarked it too. But you can ask if you choose to be guided by it. Stop using AI and just guide it and then contradict it. It'll make you smarter and not reliant on a machine. But when you contradict it, it'll tell you about the Q angle, the pelvic structure, the stride length, and the knee and the foot alignment, muscle activation, then all of that. So it'll tell you how, if you see DDGs walk or Highleys walk and why they walk like that, how they're able to hide it, etc. Freemasonry is an instrument of the Jew. Humanity has been colonized by a Jewish satanic cult composed of bankers and Freemasons who use their fraudulent monopoly over government credit currency to buy the world and hold mankind in debt servitude. Not only just that, we are sold to be making more money. Money is made out of thin air or from nature, and it can be printed out of thin air, and yet we still work so hard every day to maintain this image that cannot be defined as real. It's energy. The Jews control Freemasonry and use it to subvert their whole societies, and that is why Hitler banned Freemasonry in Germany. To strengthen his political position, he, the Jew, tries to tear down the racial and civil barriers which for a time continued to restrain him at every step. To this end, he fights with all the tenacity innate in him for religious tolerance and in Freemasonry, which has succumbed to him completely. He has an excellent instrument with which to fight for his aims and put them across. The governing circles and the higher strata of the political and economic burgios, or I was gonna say, I forgot how to spell enunciation. Enunciation. E-N-U-N-C-I, enunciation. I may be wrong though. Hold on. Huh? You said what, shorty?
Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie. Okay. Bourgeoisie are brought into his nets by the strings of Freemasonry and never need to suspect what is happening. Yes, I do that. If I don't know a word, I'm not going to sit here and just avoid it. No, let's learn the word. That's how you expand your mind. So therefore, let's say it again. Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. Rabbi Isaac Wise said himself, Masonry is a Jewish institution. So why do our people join it? Masonry is because we want to fit in. Masonry is a Jewish institution whose history, degrees, charges, passwords, and explanations are Jewish from beginning to end. Can't make it up. That is actually a fact. Look at that. The lodges, the symbolism, Star of David, which is really just this mimicry right here. Let's keep going. Excuse me. All right, I just wanted to, now for this, I just wanted to basically, I put these pictures here so that we can just get deeper into just occultism. This is all just information on occultism. I'm neither right nor wrong on this, but when you understand that open-minded perspective, you're able to now see them in their deceit beyond a rabbit hole from the surface. King Solomon reintroduced a six-pointed star to the kingdom of Israel, so the talisman of Saturn become known as the seal of Solomon. And it's engraved on the talisman of Saturn, which is used in ritual magic. And a lot of times they will sacrifice many people on this, pentagram right here, attacking the spirit first. When they do that, they can get you at many different elements. A bull's head is enclosed in a six-pointed star and surrounded by letters composing the name of Rapha, the planetary genius of Saturn, according to the alphabet of Magi. The bull represents Moloch worship and ultimately Satan worship. Satanists, occultists, and Freemasons venerate King Solomon, who owned a magic ring that was engraved with the seal of Solomon, which gave him power over the invisible monarchy of demons. Alright, Masonry is based on Judaism, eliminating the teachings of Judaism from the Masonic ritual and what is left. In the spirit of Freemasonry is the spirit of Judaism and its most fundamental beliefs. It is its ideas, its language, it is mostly its organization, the hopes which enlighten and support Israel. Its crowning will be that wonderful prayer house of which Jerusalem will be triumphant, center, and symbol. Freemasonry is a Jewish establishment whose history, grades, official appointments, passwords, and explanations are Jewish from beginning to end. And of course, Saturnian worship. So you got Galactus consuming us. So basically the gods outside of this perception have also put this luminary in a cube that we are also enslaved in through these rings, Lord of the Rings. Show me, and on top of that, what do you buy a woman? A ring. To show what? Appreciation. Show me where in the Bible it says this is the star attributed to David. David never had a star. It didn't start with gas chambers. It started with one party controlling the media, one party controlling the message, one party deciding what is truth, one party censoring speech and silencing opposition. One party dividing citizens into us and them and calling on their supporters to harass them. It started when good people turned a blind eye and let it happen. That's where it hurt us. Kabbalism, or Kabbalism, because Kabbalism is a system. All these Kabbalistic worships are just all systematic programmings from their fraternities. Kabbalism is a system of Jewish mysticism and magic and is the foundational element in modern witchcraft. Virtually all the great witches and sorcerers of the century were Kabbalists. When you learn the Kabbalah, you'll be able to use their own magic against them. This symbol is also this symbol. Boom, 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 boom. They all work for each other. So even when you say Israel, if you are a Freemason, you are still funding Israel. You're still working for Israel. You are still under their mind control. This Monad right here, I like this picture because it reminds me of home. And I say that because I understand that this string that we're all on is something that we can never escape from. And it's kind of unfortunate because just like you just want to be able to be your own being, but that's why you have a gray core whenever you astral project or lucid dream or remote view in your mindset, because when we are basically all down here. But as you're able to be aware of what this is right here, or what this being is being, you now resonate with the frequency or the equilibrium of Almighty God's thought process as it's observing you being yourself down here in your lower mind. But when you find your higher self, all you're doing is aligning with this vibration, observing this vibration, while also embodying this observing experience through your vibration of your observation that you're in right now. Hollywood Petalwood. And this is a fact. I believe that once these beings start moving here, you're doing it because you are a pedophile. And you work with them. Texas is trying to ban Sharia law. I mean, what kind of sick, demented, twisted, demonic people suck the blood from a baby after it is circumcised? They're sucking baby. These people are demons, and Sharia law has no place in the USA, much less Texas. On top of that, if you go on Twitter, the community notes. If this is how you know as well contradict these posts as well. But if you knew that this was a false law, the community notes would say this is false. But when I screenshotted that, I said I knew it. And I already made a video on that shit last year or 2 years ago. But this is in fact a Jewish practice. They are literally sucking. And on top of that, if you need to suck the blood from their, what the fuck are you then? Don't forget in New York when they were climbing underground from those tunnels, showing you. And niggas forgot about that shit because why it's the Jews? We can get canceled for that. Crazy. But they can call us nigger all damn day. And that's accepted though. We just gotta sit here and take that. I'm tired of that shit. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. University graduation. So even when I graduated, I still didn't feel complete. There was more to the story. The word mortarboard comes from the hat's resemblance to the flat board masons used to contain mortar. The mortarboard cap became a staple of academic attire in Oxford and Cambridge during the late Middle Ages. The mortarboard's design signifies the pinnacle of academic achievement and the wearer's preparedness to face the world with a wealth of knowledge and skills. And these knowledge and skills will either be used for one or two things. You being your own boss or you working for your boss. The compass and square equals mortarboard hat, aka graduation hat / cap. Then of course masonry. The perfect man has attained godhood, master degree, master of science degree, PhD, doctoral degree, Masonic degree, master mason, perfect master, worshipful master, highest honor, honors degree, honorary degree. You're getting degrees to appease to who? These degrees don't define you. They define your position in this timeline. There is an unseen and unspoken hierarchy. On rare occasions, we receive glimpses into who governs and who obeys because they got to show you. But if the Pope is above us, then who above the Pope? And then who's above these motherfuckers with the Saturn alien symbolism on their head? This is who these influencers work for, by the way. So how do you think they're getting the views that we always had? We didn't sell out. That's how you know who's really authentic on social media. I know we talked about that on part 1. So all rappers are destined for jail or a murder sacrifice. Rapper equals 38, murder equals 38. Understand as well, I believe that if you are becoming a rapper, if you're not rapping about consciousness, if you're not doing it for the betterment of society, then you're just basically going to just go down the same exact rabbit hole of insanity. And you're going to be doing it to keep up. And then once you can't keep up and they're done with you, they're going to say, all right, on to the next motherfucker. Back to the next waste of time that we can just use and leech off of so we don't want to use it no more. We'll find something better. Gmail, Masonic Royal Rich Apron. Facebook, Masonic 2-Ball Cane. Apple App Store, Android Product Store, Freemason. Google Chrome, Divine King Sign 666. 777 is 666. Google Play, Seal of Satan. Google GPS, The Eye of Providence. The most successful and prominent people in your town or city most likely belong to a lodge that you know nothing about. And it's been that way since your town was incorporated. So when your parents say, I gotta go to a meeting, they're not just meeting with just anybody. They're going to these meetings right here. And I do not want to lie to you, my reflections. This is exactly what it looks like. This exact positioning of the lodge may be different in different states, but from what I can remember, this is actually accurate. Very accurate. Also, this is accurate, that's accurate, that's accurate as well. Summary of our society: unpleasant truths, comfortable lies. If you follow this, then you are comfortable with DDG's feminine lies. If you like this video, you subscribe to it, you enjoy it, you know what the truth is. We're not here to play no games. I mean, look at how deep this shit get. This gets so deep, bro. There's just no point of even, not gonna say there's no point, but making a video on all of this shit will literally just drive me insane. But I know one thing though, dude, Hermeticism, St. Peter, Gnosticism, Christianity, Mithraism, shit, the wars, Isis, Horus, Mary, Jesus, Lucifer, Aphrodites, Enki, Lil, Baal, Satan, Ra, Adam. Man, there's so many things going on, and look who is in the middle of all of it. Not just the middle, but so the cult of Baal. So Baal worship, human sacrifice. Understand, we are at war with beings that we will never be able to comprehend or fathom. Not only just that, though, the Canaanites are an old, ancient bloodline. The pharaohs, the kings of Babylon. I don't know what the fuck that is, but the Roman Empire, Judea, Vatican, Knights of Templar, Khazars, Switzerland, Freemasonry, Jesuits, Society of Jesus, Illuminati, which is basically all these different factions combined together. And we being sacrificed for beings that want us to come together so that we can just be sold into a slaughterhouse that they can become one in through a brotherhood. And that's the end of this teaching right here. But, you know, if you enjoyed this, you know, I really appreciate you for even tuning in to what's going on. And just know that these beings are not here to save you from yourself. These beings don't actually care about what you're doing with your life. Because don't forget, they're happy followers of Lucifer. Don't forget what abuse does to people. It gets so bad, occults and Saturn are giving you mind control in Hollywood for you to believe there was screen. And that screen that you look through and you believe these lies in, that you want to find truth in somehow, some way, that's the biggest threat to your purpose and your future perspective. And people fall for it every day to where they have no choice but to like, comment, and subscribe to these people because they're entertained by it. Here we are to entertain us because they're bored. And if you can't entertain them, they'll move on to the next entertainment that they can put more value in so that they can get that instant hit, that dopamine effect. Because it drives their mind to a higher way of feeling about themselves because they're lonely on the inside. But you make them feel better about themselves because you're entertaining them. That's how wicked being lonely can get when you don't know who you actually are, God and Goddess. But who am I talking about when God and Goddesses will never call themselves that and higher mirages of realms that we are existing in and experiencing the Luciferian experimentation that we never belonged in. Have a great and divine day, divine reflection.